Welcome, everyone, to A Haunting in Stratton, penned by Ryland Mason, narrated by me, Brian Shepard. Episode 3, A Haunted Sleepover. The trip to town hall proved unsuccessful as he had just missed the clerk. So, information on the house would have to wait. Now, Ryan was focused on grabbing things to make dinner tonight, as it seems he has a date. Wait, no, it's not a date, Ryan thought, as he shook his head as he walked into the market on the main street. Also closing soon, now that he remembered there was a curfew still in town, as they dealt with a murderer on the loose. "Hey, Ryan, how are you this evening?" Alice asked, as she noticed him staring into the deli case. Alice Boyd was the owner of the store, and it seems a new friend as well. "I'm great, Alice. Just trying to find something for dinner. It seems I have a guest coming to the house tonight, and I don't even know if my oven works," he responded, as he scratched his chin looking between the ham and turkey grinders. "Oh, well, if you're looking for something like a meatloaf dinner, I have those already prepared. Or you're welcome to one of the fresh grinders that Tabitha made today, a more easy and simple dinner." "I have no idea, as everything sounds and looks good. Not that I'm trying to impress the guy or anything, just a quick dinner. He's coming over to do some ghost hunting." "And who is he, if I don't mind me asking?" "Oh, the librarian. Bear?" "If I know Bradley, and I do, go with the meatloaf meal. I'll put everything together for you." "Well, that sounds exciting, considering the poor guy's been alone for years." "Oops, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Yet what I can say, he really is a great guy and a dear friend." "Good to know, Alice. Thank you, and yes, 2 meatloaf dinners, please." Alice had already started to walk away and gave a wave as she acknowledged him. Ryan is starting to notice that everyone in town gets along, helps when they can, and of course rallies around the town's mayor during town events and any fundraiser he does to benefit those who live here. He was also realizing that after it possibly being a bust, he's glad he moved to Stratton. Walking out from the back, Alice had 2 meatloaf dinners plated and ready. Standing at the register paying, it was the sound of the door chime that had both looking over, only to see Mr. Kevin Walker. Great. "Hello, Alice. I'm in need of some Pepto or Mylanta, if you have any. My stomach is killing me." "Oh, hello. I don't believe we've met. I'm Kevin Walker, bank president here in Stratton." "Okay. And?" Ryan thought. "Ryan Green. Nice to meet you," he responded, shaking Kevin's hand. Which was a lie. He already knew about Kevin from what Duchess told him. The only thing that came to her mind to describe him and not wanting to get the author in trouble, douchebag. Ryan also remembers her using the word major in front. First impression confirms it. "Oh, Kevin, I don't think I got that on my last order. Sorry," Alice answered, as she finished packing everything up, and Ryan's receipt popped up. Grabbing his bag, Ryan said goodbye to Alice and turned to Kevin. "Well, it was nice meeting you, and sorry to hear you're having a crappy night," Ryan said as he walked towards the door, smiling. As he walked out, he could hear Kevin ask to use the restroom. Yep, it's definitely going to be a crappy night for him. Because of the manhunt still underway in town, The curfew is still in effect starting at 5 p.m. So by the time Ryan made it back to the car and on his way, places were closing. Now it seems the weather wants to change. It's starting to rain. That was the other thing he was warned about when talking to Duchess. The weather. It can be unpredictable, sometimes being nasty, especially thunderstorms and snowstorms. She went on to tell him the town has a history of losing power all the time and to be prepared for that. Sheriff Ratchet made sure him or Deputy Marks made rounds to check on residents. Pulling on to Oat Route 11, Ryan started his journey down the road, dodging tree branches and slippery leaves that now covered the road due to the wind, which came down off the mountains. He didn't have that much further to go, as he could see Brian's house on the hill to the right, as lights were still on, seeming a good thing. The rain seemed to come down in buckets as the wipers were on full blast, which really had no effect. So now it's getting to the point he can't see to remain on the small road. Deciding to take it slow up the road, he can now just barely make out his mailbox on the left. The sunflowers were almost like a runway, guiding him up the driveway to the house safely. That's where he noticed another vehicle parked in front. Bear? Ryan parked next to what resembled a Jeep. Same as him. Turning the car off, he hesitated. There was no one in the driver's seat when he looked over. Maybe it's the rain and he's not seeing clearly. Taking the seatbelt off and grabbing the grocery bag with the meatloaf, he got out of the car. Flipping his hood up over his head, he ran over to the Jeep to find no one in the seat. The crack of thunder made Ryan jump back as the lightning showed off a figure standing under the front portico. "Hi, you need a hand with something?" Bear said, practically having to yell over the thunder. Ryan, finally realizing who it was, ran over to the front door. "Hi, I thought maybe you were still in the car. I pulled in and noticed your front door was open. I'm assuming from your expression that you don't need the door open." "No, however, I'm not surprised," Ryan said as he and Bear stepped inside, closing the door behind them. Flipping the switch, the entryway was illuminated by a multi-tier chandelier with its 260 pieces of cut glass showing off the gorgeous interior, which, by the looks, was still all original to the house. Bear was simply impressed by what he saw as his eyes danced across the room. "Welcome to Barton Hill Manor," Ryan stated as he did a twirl. As he said the words, the power crackled and it went out. "Well, that was rude," Bear said, as he found his way back towards Ryan. "I agree. I was told I would be able to use the fireplace in the dining room. Can't be that hard to light it, right?" Ryan asked, as he was right about never lighting one before, and if he's pegged Mr. Sexy Librarian correctly, this should be a piece of cake for him. Yeah. Would you mind if I lit it for you? It's what I use in my cabin." "Please, be my guest. As you do that, I have some dinner for us, and I hope you're hungry, as I was told it was your favorite, and that you better eat it," Ryan said, smirking. "Alice is too good to me. I have a soft spot for her meatloaf dinner. I would miss it, now that the curfew was still going on. She would plate it up and bring it to me at the library before she closed up. And the same for Maria at the pizza shop. She would do the same before She was murdered, Bear said, kneeling down, scoping out the chute with his phone. Yeah, it's hard to lose a friend, someone you see every day. Ryan pauses to look at Bear as he realizes he forgot matches at the hardware store. I hope you have something to light that with, as I seem to have forgotten the matches. With the flick of a Zippo across the knee, Bear lit the fire, moving the smaller pieces around to catch fire. Now that the fire was going, Bear was able to take a seat at Ryan's huge dining room table. Food was already set out. All that was left was to light the candles in front of him and enjoy a nice conversation together. Ah, sounds sweet and romantic, which is something that was not going to happen. Not when all they hear is a blood-curdling scream coming from below. A scream which had Bear on his feet and out of that chair. Can we at least eat our meal first before you haunt us? Ryan said jokingly, as he was not sure what else to say. This was something new. A voice telling him to get out, and now a scream from below in the basement, an area in which he has not ventured yet. Someone has an audience, so I have a feeling it will be very active tonight. Let's finish our meal, as I'm not wasting that, and they can't stop me, Bear said, as he sat back down laughing. That, and he was hungry. Conversation flowed between them as they chowed down on Alice's famous meatloaf. Ghost or not, it seemed both were enjoying each other's company. Ryan was unsure what questions to ask, as he was unsure who Bradley really was. Best to start with a generic question, foolproof. Are you sure you're not taking time away from somebody else? He asked. Yes. You know he was hoping it would open the discussion. Of course, he would be right. Bear stopped to look at Ryan. No, I'm afraid not, and, if I may say so, I rather like the company here, smiling while chewing his food. Okay, well, Ryan was not expecting that at all. So, how do you respond? I appreciate that, and again, thank you for coming over to my madness. I can see I made the right choice by wanting to explore this unique home you have here, Bear said as he finished his meal. More conversation continued between the two regarding the house, the history, family, and anything else which might shed some light going forward with tonight's investigation. Bear was already certain that there were others in the house. Some pleasant, and, of course, one who was not pleasant. And she was making her presence known to Bear, who could sense her strong, evil, dark, and sinister thoughts. Yes, Bear has the ability to hear the dead. Now, to try and explain to Ryan why it might be a bad idea to bother with the upstairs bedroom. Best to focus on other areas, such as the scream. Thanks everyone for listening to episode 3